Hey guys, and welcome to Car Guy 1999 Reviews. Today, thanks to Infinity of Nashville, we have our 2024 Nissan Rogue SV. 2024, mild refresh mainly to the front and rear fascia. Interior, very largely unchanged. Rogue was completely redesigned in 2021, and it featured a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. I'm sure everybody was familiar with that motor. 2022, they added the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo. I do like this motor in this vehicle much more than I like the 2.5. Front fascia, definitely a little bit different in this grille. The headlights, that is all very different in comparison. Oh, it's a bag going down the street. One way you can always tell which Rogue has the 3-cylinder versus the 4, and mainly a way you can tell if it's a 21 or a 2022 and newer, is your badge. If it is the new Nissan badge, it has the 3-cylinder. If it is the old Nissan badge, it has the 4-cylinder. For some odd reason, 2021, they had that with the 4-cylinder. 2022, they added a different badge and had the 3-cylinder. Very, very kind of odd. Rear bumper is also a little bit boxier. You can obviously tell that. Tail lights, the same. Wheels are a little bit different. Powertrain's still the same. I'll go ahead, I'll pop the hood here. Oh, that's a nice looking car. Never would want to own one. But another big thing with the Rogue that is actually kind of sets it apart from the class is the 90-degree opening rear door. Yes, theoretically, it does allow children to open the door way more and hit parked car next to you. That's besides the point, okay? Have better control of your children and figure it out. Sunshade. And it's always fun to sit there and go, boop. Pano roof, yep. When we buy these, we get SV premium packages. Very, I would say 99% of them are SV premium packs. So that gives you your pano roof, leather seats, heated wheel. And it's honestly, for the price point, a really nice option. Go ahead, take a look under the hood at this force-fed triple. Pretty sure Ducati uses that. Variable compression turbo, much like the 2.0 liter turbo 4 that Nissan and Infinity have been using for quite some time. There's a massive hood release paddle. So look how tiny. I just realized that. That is a microscopic oil fill hole, but it's a microscopic engine. So, fitting. Do have Sirius XM push button start. That is slightly different from the 23 and older. I believe it wasn't black like that. Ooh, good amount of storage there. Sunglasses, sliding visor, paddle shifters behind the wheel, even though it is a CVT. Couple different drive modes: snow, off-road, auto, eco, sport. Let's do sport. This triple, I'm gonna keep calling it a force-fed triple. I just like the way that sounds. Very diesel-like in terms of power delivery. It actually feels quicker under medium throttle than under full, and I'll kind of demonstrate that. So it really highlights torque more than horsepower. I want to say it's 220 pound-feet of torque, a little bit more, maybe like 228. It's a good amount of torque, and that's really what you're going to be using a lot of the time, is your torque. So you can tell right above 5,000 RPM, it kind of dies down. And if you think about a torque curve, especially with turbos, they're very boop, and then they start to fall down. let's be honest, you're not gonna be flooring your Nissan Rogue every single chance. So this doesn't have to be a high-strung motor. The 2.5 really provided power up top. It had decent low-end torque, but it was kind of lackluster and felt underpowered. This one feels very, very torquey, and that power is right there where you're gonna be spending the majority of your time. And I'm in sport mode, so it's gonna keep the revs a little bit higher. But right here, 3 to 4, this engine is a powerhouse. You feel all that torque right there. And that's what I like about it. I do like that a lot. And that's why I prefer the force-fed triple over the NA 4-cylinder, is because even if, let's put it into auto, it's gonna drop the revs even more. 2500, you have lots of torque. It's just overall a very impressive car. Especially for the price point, you know, these are pretty darn good. I mean, you have radar cruise with steering assist. Oh, we're set to 20-mile-an-hour cruise. Awesome. Resume to follow vehicle ahead. Resume. I don't know. I'm playing with cruise control and its least applicable setting. Come on, light, please. Let's see if I can add any more. You have customized display, main menu selection. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Oh, we'll pop up the variable compression. I want to see how much PSI they're pushing out of this Turbo 3. I want to say, feels like about 20 PSI. And I think that's around what they push on the 2-liter. Nope, it's 30. Oh, that's a lot of boost. Wow. That is a lot of boost. And yes, it is actually not really. It's 75 degrees. It's not boost weather. But come on. See, that's a situation where, let's say I want to pass this car. I'm not going to floor it. I'm going to use about 50% throttle. And it actually genuinely feels much quicker than burying the pedal. Just because you're keeping the engine in its power band. Matter of fact, it has way more boost down low than up high. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it's at about 20 PSI at full throttle in the upper rev ranges. So, whereas medium throttle, yeah, it's starting to push towards 30. Honda Element. Cars you don't see much of anymore. Brake pedal feel nice and progressive, not the insurance. I would like to show you handling, but this bronability. I always wanted to review one of those handicap vans. I just think there's a lot of quirks and features in those. Doug DeMuro. Yeah, it's just a fun engine compared to that 2.5. It's just an absolute powerhouse, exactly where the consumer is going to want it. You go into this driving it like Road and Track or Motor Trend, be like, oh, let's do 0 to 60 runs. Okay, yeah, the engine falls on its face up high and the numbers don't match what really this thing feels like. You know, we actually had one of my coworkers bought a Rogue, and he drives everything very flat out, like he floors it everywhere. I'm like, you're not going to be impressed with the car. You're going to be like, oh, it feels slower than the 2.5. And it really does. If you don't drive it like a race car, and you drive it how every consumer is going to really drive these cars, you'll be like, okay, that makes sense. It is one of the only cars I feel like at medium, if you floor it, it feels slower than if you don't. I don't know why. I don't know. Well, no, I know why, because this is a very torquey motor. At the end of the day, it's a 1.5 trying to spin a turbo. I don't know. It's very hard to explain that this is a great engine while also saying it has some pretty big flaws in terms of performance driving. It's very counterintuitive because there's a lot of cars out there like the Hellcat that in a performance situation that car drives terrible, but because it has a massive engine that has a ton of power, it makes everything better. This is kind of the opposite. You know, you have an engine that provides a lot of low-end torque that kind of falls on its face in performance situations, but that's what makes it so good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.